All right, guys. So I think this is a good time for you to take a little challenge here and try to create this on your own because it's almost identical to the audio API, and we looked at most of this stuff in the last video. We know how to play, we know how to stop. The one thing we didn't look at is the progress bar, but it's very similar, if not identical, to how the audio API works, with the current time and the duration and so on. So I would suggest pausing the video and trying to add the JavaScript here yourself. So to look at the HTML, we're bringing in Font Awesome just for these little icons. And then we have our video that has a poster, has the clouds video, a class of screen, and then the div with the class of controls is where the play button is, the stop button. When we click the play button and it plays, we want this to turn to a pause button, just like we did with the audio player. And then we also have an input. This is the range, and this is the progress bar. And then we have a timestamp. So this right here, we're going to want to update that as well. And then as far as media, same thing as the last video. We just have our poster and our clouds. So let's jump into the JavaScript. And first thing we want to do is bring in everything. So let's bring in our video. So we'll get it by ID of video. And then we're going to copy this down 2, 3, 4, 5. And the next one is going to be our play. So we'll just highlight this, Control D, and play. Then we'll grab this one and the next one, and that's going to be stop. And then this and this is going to be progress. And then this and this is going to be timestamp. Okay, so that's all the stuff we need to bring in. Now, I want it to play when I click on the play button, but I also want it to play when I click on the video itself. So what I'll do is add video.add event listener and click. And then we're going to have a function called play pause, because it's either going to play or pause depending on what state it's in. So let's also add that to the play button. So we'll say play as well. And then let's come up here and we'll create a function called play pause. And for this, we want to first check to see if the video is paused. So we can say if video, and there's a property called paused. So if it is paused, then we're going to say video.play. Else, then we're going to video.pause. So pretty simple. Let's go ahead and click play. So it's playing right now. If I click play again, oh, I forgot there we go. All right, so if I click play again, so now it's paused. Same thing if I click on the video, it'll play. Click it again and it'll pause. Now I want the icon to update depending on if the video is paused or not. So what we'll do is add an event when we click pause. So let's say video. Oh, I'm sorry, not when we click pause. We're going to listen for the pause event. So add event listener, and there's an event that we can listen for called pause. And if that is fired off, then we want to call update icon. Okay, and then we'll come up here and let's do function update icon. And again, we want to check to see if video is paused. Okay, so if it is, then we're going to take the play button and we're going to set the inner HTML and set that to a Font Awesome icon. So it's going to be iClass equals. So you can see we're doing this a little bit different than what we did in the audio, but you can do it either way. So I'm going to say FA and then FA-play. and let's make it 2x for the size. So FA dash 2x. All right, and then I'm just going to copy that, and then we'll do else, and then paste that in. So in this case, then we want to show the pause button, so let's change that to FA dash pause. All right, so if I click play, let's see, that's not working. Oh, because we need to have it for play and pause. So let's listen for play. Okay, so we play, there we go. So now it's pause. If I click it again, it goes back to play. Same thing if I click on the video. Now, for stop, that's going to be pretty simple. So let's say, let's actually move this play down here just to keep these separate, and then stop, add event listener, and we're going to listen for a click. When that happens, we'll call stop video. So I'm going to put that right here. Let's say function stop video. And all we want to do is set the video.current time to 0, and then video.pause. Okay, so now if I play it and I hit stop, it goes back to the beginning. So now let's do the progress bar. So on the video element, I'm going to add an event listener and listen for, we want to listen for time update. And then when that happens, we're going to call update progress, just like we did with the audio. And then we'll put that right here. Let's say function update progress. Okay, and then we'll set, let's say progress dot value, and we're going to set that to the current time. So video dot current time divided by video dot duration, and then we just want to multiply that by 100. And that should be it for this to work. So now you can see the progress bar is moving. Now, we did it differently here than we did in the audio player, because in the audio player, the progress bar was a div. Remember, it was we had a progress container and then a progress div within it, and we set the width to that div. With this is an actual input. This is a range input. So all we're doing is setting the value of it. We're not like editing the CSS width or anything. So it's a little easier. All right, now I also want this time to update. So we have to get the time, the minutes and the seconds, right? And then we want to output that. So let's first say get minutes. And I'm going to say let minutes. Let's set that to, we want to round down, so math.floor. And in here, we're going to take the video current time, so video.current time, and divide that by 60. Now, by default, it's not going to have a 0 at the beginning if it's like 1 through 9. So what I'm going to do here is say if the minutes is or what I call it, minutes. So if the minutes is less than 10, then let's take that minutes and let's set it to, we're going to have a string of 0 and then concatenate a string of whatever minutes is. All right, and then we want to do the same thing with seconds. So let's say let seconds and set that to math.floor and video.current time, and then we want to use the modulus operator 60, and then we can check to see if seconds, because again that's not going to have the 0, but we do want the 0. So if seconds is less than 10, then seconds is going to equal 0, and then we're going to concatenate onto that string and whatever seconds is. Okay, and then lastly, we want to take the timestamp element, which is that the numbers, and we're going to set inner HTML equal to some backticks, and we want to have the minutes and then a colon and then the seconds. So let's save that and let's play it. Okay, so now you can see the seconds are starting to count up. All right, now I want to be able to put this where I want it. You can see I can't really do that. It's just, it shows me putting it there, but it doesn't stay there. It just basically just flashes there for a minute, but ultimately it goes back to where it is. But I want to be able to set it, so what we'll do is add on the progress, let's say progress, we want to add an event listener for a click, and then we're going to call set progress. And for that, let's see, we'll put it right under update progress. Let's say function set progress. And this is going to be pretty simple. We're just going to set the video dot current time, because we can set the current time to wherever we want from within JavaScript. And I'm going to set it to the progress dot value, but I want that to be a number. So I'm going to add a plus sign on the beginning of it. You could also use parse int if you want, because the value, progress value, is coming in as a string, but we want it as a number because we want to multiply it by the video duration. Okay, and then we just want to divide that by 100. So now if we play and we click on an area, you can see that it goes to that spot in the video. And it can be a little wonky. It's because we used a range input as opposed to like what we did in the audio player project, where we had just a div and we set the width to the percentage of the whatever the current time versus the duration was. So that's ultimately what I would do. But this is another way of doing it, you know, using a range input as the progress bar. So yeah, I think that should do it for this one. And in the next video, what we're going to look at is the web animation API.